and I will drag you down and sell you out. Run away. I am cold like December snow. I have carved out this soul made of stone, and I will drag you down and sell you out. Embraced by the darkness, I'm losing the light. Encircled by demons I fight. What have I become now that I've betrayed everyone I've ever loved? I pushed them all away, and I have been a slave to the Judas in my mind. Is there something left for me to save in the wreckage of my life? My life. I become Judas in my mind. I become Judas in my mind. Judas in my mind. Judas in my mind.
Gosh, that was absolutely incredible. My first time seeing that. You know, it's funny because I had the Judas queued up, ready to play it.
Yes.
But you beat me to the punch. I did not know. That's so funny. Oh my gosh, AI is so crazy. I wish that was the case. I would gladly take a chair shot to further Jericho. I felt like I was like the Jake Hager in that one, like the taller guy,
Yeah.
and then walking with Jericho and like the pointing and all that. That was awesome. So you next week, everything all purple for Jericho.
Yeah.
We'll hear from Jericho. So everything's going to be purple with our graphics. The Dynamite download is going to go purple for Jericho, not Chris Jericho, just Jericho. But
yeah,
that intro was badass, man. So fun. I'm going to rewatch that later. But yeah, I had no idea. It was definitely a pleasant surprise. But I got, man, when I was
seen it. Actually, you had seen it, but that's from the concussion that you hit.
That's true. You're right. I lived it. We lived it.
Yeah.
His return. I got to say, last night I was checking into my hotel and I was like throwing my bags everywhere. It was kind of a whirlwind. And then I had AEW on, or, TBS, the channel on. And then all of a sudden, like, Tony Schiavone's seems like he's getting annoyed. I'm like, what's going on? Like, I knew there was some kind of gimmick stuff on it, but and then all of a sudden Judas hits. I literally like screamed and like cheered out loud to myself because I was so pumped. I know there was rumors and stuff going on social about him making a debut, but I don't know. It just felt so great to have him back, and I was just like so excited. I'm glad that the crowd embraced him as they should, and I think I'm ready. I'm so ready for this next cornerstone era of Jericho, and as a babyface too, because some of my favorite times of AEW were singing along to Judas when I would go to live events. Before Cope was there. How did you feel? And right away, like when you first heard that?
Oh, we cheered that, because it's Full Tilt Deb and the Natural Man, and we're sitting here. And I had a feeling because Alvarez on Wrestling Observer was chatting with Meltzer. And, Meltzer is Meltzer. I think, with the internet, I think if you take the collective view of Meltzer from the internet, you're probably pretty close to the truth. But Alvarez, I tend to agree with more than disagree on a lot of things. And Alvarez was bringing it up. And they were just the fact, and it wasn't so much what they were saying, it was the fact that they were bringing it up. Yeah, like they're in Winnipeg. I'm like, if there was going to be, if Jericho is coming back, that's going to be when he comes back. And I had a feeling. And so we're watching, and of course, and all of a sudden, the shenanigans were going on. I'm like, oh, I think he's back. I think it's Jericho. And what a brilliant move to come back to. You got to come back to Judas. You got to come back to 100%. Because the learning tree is done. It's over. I'm sure the cornerstone's going to be great, but you got to keep Judas. He came back in the purple, and he didn't have to say much. He just came out. He says, "I'm home," and it was all we needed. Oh, there's our Judas graphic right there. There's our Jericho purple. Yeah, we're gonna have a purple episode next
That's
week.
right,
Yep.
purple episode. I'm still kind of like, I went back and
Looks
rewatched
great.
that a couple times just because I was so excited. And it's really hard to believe it, almost a full year since the last time we saw him. And as soon as the rumors were of him going to WWE and all that were starting up, I was starting to get a little sour and getting a little sad.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad he's here to stay, because we know, like, to me, he's definitely one of my top ever of all times. Like, he could easily be on my Mount Rushmore depending on the mood I'm in, just because of how many times he's reinvented himself, how fun he makes wrestling, and how important he is, especially to AEW. And so Jericho back, it's incredible. I am here for it. We're buckling up. We're in for the ride. We can't wait to see this version of him, because every version we've had of him in AEW has worked so well.
And like there's all kinds of talk. Of course, we're all armchair Tony Khans. We're all armchair bookers. But like the rumors backstage, he was one of the ones that, like, you'd hear from some talent that he's tremendously helpful. That he's always like, and I've always seen him. Even remember Pineapple Pete? He was enhancement talent that Jericho kept trying to put over on commentary. Yeah. Then there was also the other side of the argument, with the whole, like, he keeps people down. Like, I know that Mike Santana had some ideas, but you never know the full story. But I never Jericho is one of the ones that Darby Allin was talking about, is like, he's not one of those that doesn't work for me, brother. He has no problem taking the L for people to put them over. I mean, he has no problem doing comedy matches. If you look at remember the Orange Mimosa match, like that.
That was so fun though.
Yeah, that was fun. Like, he has no problem putting other people over. I could see I shared the frustration with Proud and Powerful never getting the titles and never getting the tag push when they were with the Inner Circle. I get that, but I think from what I've heard from reliable people backstage, he's one of those guys that really puts people over and raises the level. So I think he's going to be a gem going forward. And officially, he's told Tony Khan that he's going to AEW will be the only American company that he will work for, which leaves open, of course, New Japan, CML, that. But as far as WWE, I don't think he's ever going back at this point. You know what? And that's good. I think that there was a time where I think that might have worked for him and WWE. And I actually, I think it's great that Danhausen's over there. It's working for him. But, like, Jericho is where he needs to be, not just for Jericho, but I think for AEW, as well as these rising talents. There's yet another person that's going to be able to lift people up. And I think that, I think it's going to be pretty cool. We'll see what storylines he's going to be involved in. I thought it would be interesting if he was the guest referee between MJF and Kenny Omega.
Oh,
I thought that's what they were going, because he came out during that segment.
Yeah.
I thought that would be pretty interesting, and have him screw over one of them, and and then that leads to a feud, whatever. But I think it's great. He looks great, and more Jericho on our TV, and even just put him on commentary. I just bringing him back on commentary. He was phenomenal, but. This elevated the show from the get-go, and it was just such a great way to kick it off. And, we were cheesing big time, and it's great to have him back. Welcome home, Jericho.
Yes, he is home. I'm so glad it started this way, because, like, he's so good with reading the audience and just do whatever. Yeah. Like, a man that has the gift of gab, who can, have a 30-minute promo if he wanted to. Literally said 2 sentences essentially, and he got over, and, like, making the crowd just fire up. So us at home are getting more pumped up. Like, it's so great having him. And I'm, like, just thinking back, like, the last 48 hours, we got a cornerstone / pillar and day oneer Jericho back. We got Sheeta back. We're getting Queen Aminata back. Hurt Syndicate's coming back. Yeah. And was there someone else that I'm missing? Possibly. Oh,
you just off the presses, you shared it with me on our text earlier today. Back, it's official. Billy Gunn has announced. Do you want to say it or me? I'll go
for it.
Billy Gunn announced, and also he's been doing a lot of stuff with Road Dogg.
Oh,
So,
you didn't know?
What are we gonna the old age outlaws?
The old age
But
outlaws.
I mean, we might see them do a last run or something. Maybe them against FTR would be pretty cool.
Oh gosh,
But
I
can
don't
you
want to
imagine?
see. I mean, Billy Gunn is in incredible shape, but Road
Billy
Dogg,
Gunn's not the big announcement. Guns
Yeah.
up. Colton has cleared. And if you've been watching this whole thing with Tommaso Ciampa, Tommaso
Yeah.
versus Austin Gunn, Tommaso Austin
Ace Austin.
Ace Austin, sorry. Tommaso versus Juice. There's Colton coming back. There's still one more, and we're just champing at the bit. You see what I did there? What if we end up with Tommaso Ciampa, Jay White?
I mean, of course, that's a great first feud for Jay White to return in the Bang Bang Gang. Like, sign me up for that one for sure. Before we continue on for the night, I'm curious, right off the cuff, like, because I don't know, and I fully trust Jericho. Like, where do you see what do you see him being inserted? I mean, you said off like the guest referees. I kind of like that. I don't know if there's enough time to build for that, but I would support that because he could feud. I mean, we lost out on the tag team of Jericho and Omega. We lost on that due to injury of Omega.
Yeah.
So that was supposed to kind of have a little bit of run. So they could either tag team together, they could feud against each other. MJF and Jericho obviously have history. They can feud against each other, which would be an awesome feud as well. So what are you thinking?
Well, a lot of things. I'll make the general statement. He's going to feel he's going to feel it out. He's going to do some backstage segments. He'll probably show up backstage and talk to some people, talk about the Cornerstone. I think he's going to enter a feud where he's going to enter a storyline that's going to elevate the person he's opposite. That's going to give them something to do, something, and it'll be somebody that needs a little bit of that new, something fresh for them to do. And I think that'll be, I'm not sure who that's going to be. I don't know if the Cornerstone is going to be a group. He always tends to get a group, but he could just be going solo as the Cornerstone of AEW or some kind of thing like that. He could feud with Kenny. He could feud with a number of people. I don't know. But at the top of my head, if he's going to go babyface, it'd be pretty interesting to see him and Ricochet actually in a feud. But and a battle on the mic. I mean, Jericho on the mic against Ricochet would be pretty good TV. I could see him really if MJF drops the title, I could see him doing a brief thing with MJF before MJF goes off to film whatever his next movie is. I could see him, I could see him
MJF right away, title or not.
Yeah.
Because they have history together and they're both, obviously MJF is the hottest thing in AEW right now. And Jericho loves to be involved in that. And that's good because he does elevate a lot of stuff. He likes to kind of insert himself in some of the hot feuds, which was fine with me. Like I could see potentially right now, I could see MJF beating Omega, which I don't necessarily want him to. And then I could see MJF and Jericho feud till Double or Nothing. And then MJF beating Jericho too. And then that could lead his path if MJF is staying on until All In to Ospreay.
I think you're right, except for one thing, and I don't want to betray the preview show. I think Kenny's winning. I think Kenny's getting the belt because what they're building towards is All In Wembley. It's going to be Kenny versus Will.
I hope so. That's what I want
for the title, and I think that he's going to Will Ospreay's going to walk out champion. But talk about Can I give I got to get my pet peeve of this out of the way before I just completely praise this match and how awesome.
Right, start low, then we'll build high.
My pet peeve is stop doing this injured gimmick, especially with these two guys, because I'm truly concerned. I'm concerned about both Will Ospreay and Pac, with their injury rate and what have you, with the injury stuff. So it's not necessary. We're already waiting for Kenny Omega's intestines to explode. That we don't need another one of these things. And I think I think we needed to see, now granted, maybe there's stuff behind the scenes we don't know about, but I think we needed to see a stronger Will Ospreay here, because he didn't look full Ospreay, and I understand he can't go full Ospreay, and this was the way they were explaining it. I think we needed to see full tilt Will Ospreay. I mean, the Ospreay we saw last week against Blake, or the previous with against Blake Christian, we needed that Ospreay here. You could have still had the ending, and you could have had him dominate Pac as much. I mean, you could have been a great back and forth, but it looked like Pac was kind of beating the crap out of him, and Ospreay got a lucky pin. I don't think I didn't like that. I didn't like that part of the storyline. Now that's like the nitpick. It's still Pac versus Ospreay, and it's still like a delicious steak dinner. Yeah, okay, maybe the
Tomahawk
there's a little
steak.
chard on the side, but it was still a delicious steak dinner, and it was fantastic. That's just my opinion.
I think I'm in lockstep with you with this one on that. Like, I get the whole neck story. It was a huge surgery. It's a very like real, and I'm with you. Like, the concerned fan in me is, it's not just like get out there and wrestle, or get out there and like, dance monkey. You're here, my entertainment. Like the concerned fan in me is like, we know their history. We know it's not a joke. Like, and we know these guys go 100% almost all the time, and are 100 miles per hour all the time. So I think, I'm hoping after the Moxley match that they kind of move on from the old let's target the neck every single match gimmick.
Yeah.
Because if they're going to target the neck every match, they shouldn't have done half the dang moves like they did in the Blake Christian match or this match. Like the reverse Hurricane Rana, the DDTs outside the ring, the pile drivers, everything outside the ring. Like they're not holding back at all with him, which is very, very surprising. Like that's like, and he's not holding back. But I agree. I feel like Ospreay should have had the pedal on the metal. Granted, he was my top performer of the night because he's just absolutely incredible. But I'm with you with this. Like, Pac looked really great, and he looked very strong. Like, he could have been my top performer because he was dominating most of this match. Yeah. And I was kind of surprised by the ending. I know he overcame one of the most brutal finishers in all of wrestling, the Black Arrow or whatever his, I forget what his top rope move is called. Black Arrow into the Brutalizer combo is just absolutely awesome 1-2 punch from Pac, and then he countered it for the win. But I loved this match, but internally I had higher expectations for it. Mm-hmm. Because I was hyping myself up so much. Yeah. I'm like, this match, like hyping up. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. Absolutely loved it. But I just internally, I'm like, man, I really wanted more. I wanted more of like vintage Ospreay. And I don't think we got it that much there. But that's okay. We might get a lot of the vintage Ospreay versus Moxley.
Unless there's something, again, there's always something maybe we don't know behind the scenes. Maybe Ospreay isn't 100% and there's something, whatever. But I would think it would have been more compelling, would have really made his match with Moxley compelling if he did show full tilt Ospreay, and then the post match we went the same way where he's knocked out and they took him out, because that's, to me, that sells it better. And I love the way they did this. We're thinking, oh, he's gone again. And then Mox does this, he stops everybody and he says, you put yourself in this position. I think that's great. I love that part too. I thought this whole part was great. But I think the only thing I was thinking is I think they sacrificed, you and I are saying the same thing. I feel like they sacrificed him going full tilt Ospreay, and for whatever choice they made for that to try to maybe pull back, put that doubt in our mind. But we already have that doubt in our mind. We didn't need it. I think it would have been more compelling if he went full tilt, but then got knocked down, and now we're curious, is he gonna get whacked or whatever? Is he gonna be out? But I thought this was phenomenal. I think Mox is fantastic. Mox, this was such a great choice for him to explain why he's not gonna stomp him. And of course, if you watch Collision, you saw the payback for that, and how it's gonna be the title shot, and which keeps everybody else away from the ring. It's gonna be compelling. I think it's gonna be great.
last week we weren't sure if it was for the Continental title, but they kept emphasizing that it's going to be for the Continental title.
Yeah.
And then you have Moxley versus Ospreay. Then you have Mrs. Ospreay, Alex Windsor versus Marina Shafir, which is the other hench woman of the Death Rider. So I'm liking that so far. We'll show what we got booked so far for the pay-per-view at the end of our show. But I'm here for it. I think this is going to be a fun ride for Ospreay. I don't know how when he beats Moxley, it's like, I don't know, is he going to be holding the Continental title all the way to maybe a world title match? Like, does that kind of shift gears? Like, it just, I don't know, man. I just don't know how that's going to go. But
is it time to, first of all, is it time to take the title off of Moxley? I don't know. And
you think he's going to lose to Moxley? Then what does it?
That's the other side of the coin. If he loses to Moxley, or does it go to a draw and then we all lose? I mean, yeah, it's kind of a lose. It's a win. It's not a win-win. Like Ospreay wins the title for one, and then second, it kind of revenges him. If he loses, then it's like, okay, now is he going to be a double champion maybe eventually, or what? Like, does he hold on? I don't know what you're going to do with the Continental Classic, because if you're going to build him to be in the world title picture, you can't have him just have a loss, of the Continental Classic belt. Sometimes AEW booking reminds me of when I was a service contractor for Cintas uniforms, and these sales guys would overpromise the clients all kinds of stuff that were quantumly physically impossible to do. And so we were forced to underdeliver. And I wonder sometimes, again, this is speaking from I bleed AEW.
Right.
I think sometimes they put themselves in a corner, and it's where they kind of, they're going to make something lame at some point. Now, granted, the Hangman, I'm never going to challenge again. There's plenty of other titles, what have you. But maybe they're just, this is how they put stakes, raise the stakes in the match. But yeah, if Ospreay loses, that takes away from his goal for ultimately, the Wembley thing, unless they're going to find a way to redeem him there. Right. But if Ospreay wins and takes away from if Ospreay wins, that takes away from Moxley's whole momentum, the whole Death Riders momentum. And, what do you go from there? And, does Ospreay need a win against Moxley in order? He kind of does, because that's kind of the payback from the storyline.
I took your title, you took my neck thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So
it'll be interesting. Yeah. I mean, we're here for it, but it'll be an interesting booking coming up. So the contract signing, the official AEW contract signing, MJF versus Omega, which really kicked off the show. No violence installed there. Like, I think it was really cool that we saw what we saw that helped lead to the main event, because that main event was fantastic. I got to give props to both Speedball and MJF, which we'll talk about later. But I feel like a match that kind of was out of the clouds, out of nowhere, and the main event was great. It was perfect booking. U.S. versus Canada, heel versus babyface, in typical fashion with that. Like, I loved it. But contract signing, it's set, and I'm just nervous, especially like it's Easter weekend and it's MJF. You have like, is the devil gonna beat, and then he's gonna rub it in that the devil is better than God and all that stuff. It's like,
well,
it's
they
kind
do
of like
serve
you're
deviled
toying
eggs.
with a line there. What?
They do serve deviled eggs during Easter, so
yeah. So this is I'm excited for this main event. This is one of those toss-ups to me. It really is. And I think it's a win-win either way too. Without spoiling picks or whatever, like MJF wins, he's doing a great job. He's going to continue to be this filthy, nasty heel that we want to see lose. Kenny wins. The God of Pro Wrestling is back, and we know what he's been doing as of late for stuff in the ring and how he looks and how just nostalgic, even though AEW is still a very young company, but just how nostalgic it is to have him back.
Yeah,
in true Kenny form.
You just made an interesting point. We already have nostalgia for this young company. I like that. I like that.
Yeah. The trios match. Interesting trio. Yeah, well, obviously the demand, but we're seeing an interesting trios combo with this, and then we're seeing another interesting trios combo coming up later with Darby inserted in this.
Set me on fire.
Yeah, Perry got set on fire by Darby. Brody King and Darby had quite the heck of a feud, and now they're all teaming together. It's funny how things work out, right, in the end.
Yeah.
What was your take on this all-star trios match, essentially?
Well, just to put a little pin in something we'll talk about later, I do love that AEW does acknowledge history, and a lot of this stuff. But
that's a good point. They don't just like, oh, by the way, yeah.
Phenomenal. Now this was compare this to the Ospreay and Pac situation. Here's one where, of course, later we hear that MJF starts talking to Kenny about his intestines exploding, but then. Kenny went full Kenny in this match. I felt like all of them shine. Jack Perry's fantastic in this match, and Brody King. I love that they've the three baby faces in here all belong together. We've got essentially three homegrown AEW talent. Actually, everybody but Ricochet is AEW homegrown, and Ricochet, in my opinion, has shed his WWE skin. He is the Ricochet that he never was in WWE. He's 10 times better than he was. I thought this was fantastic. Again, this is also elevating the Gates of Agony. I love that they're getting the spotlight. They're constantly on TV, getting rewarded with great matches. Toa Leona is such a beast. And Bishop Khan continues to be such a backbone of the demand. And I think he does get overshadowed sometimes by Toa Leona and Ricochet. But you got to watch Bishop Khan in his matches because he's doing amazing stuff as well. It's just that then there's a spot with Toa where he just Mack trucks everybody. And you're like, oh.
I love it when he does that.
But, Kenny looked fantastic. Jack Perry has evolved into such a great – he's – as Full Tilt Deb says, Jack Perry got his man spread, which is he's no longer Jungle Boy, he's Jungle Man. And Brody King I love that he is in that main event kind of level now. He is in that talk, where he went from the second in command of the House of Black, and now he is kind of his own character, and I think it's fantastic. The match was great, and I'm glad that they're not punishing Ricochet, other than the fact that, Kenny got a clear win and he needed to. I think Kenny needed to get a clear win to make him a legit contender for the belt, I think. So great.
I think it's time to Demand is getting their opportunities, which I love, but I think it's time for the Demand to start taking names and taking numbers and take the trios belts. It is time.
Big time.
Like they're inserted in so many matches and they fit so well because they're so adaptable. Mm-hmm. And that's what's great. And you're seeing all three of them shine in their own different light. But now the trios belts, I think, deserve to be on the Demand. Let's see it. If not the Demand, then the Dogs. Those are my next two in line that I think. And speaking of the Dogs, I was in the airport on Tuesday and I walked by Gabe Kidd. Nice. He was in his zone with his headphones on, hat on, and then I recognized him because of his tattoos. But Gabe Kidd was in the Detroit airport when I was walking around on Tuesday.
Hold on, you saw a wrestler in the airport and you didn't harass him for 10 hours? You didn't go up to him and then yell at him and say, hey, you sign my figures and then
sign everything I got,
and then post it on Instagram when he finally flips you off?
Yep. No.
Wow.
I didn't.
That's a rare thing.
It is a rare thing for us.
Not for you, but rare that, a wrestling fan treats a wrestler with respect and gives him his space.
Exactly. I was shocked we didn't see him, though, because he was on his way. He was on his way to Winnipeg, eh?
Yeah.
Triangle of Madness taking an unexpected. I think they said their first trios loss.
Yeah.
And this is what are they calling the dancing brawling birds or the something they're calling themselves? Someone said something like that. I think it's like the dancing birds or something like that. I don't remember, but Mina was kind of taking over that spotlight with more of the featured babyface solo wrestler.
Yeah.
And the Brawling Birds, which could be the next tag team champs, which I'm glad they're not getting a title shot yet.
Yeah.
You know, where we're seeing both of them get singles matches at Dynasty with Windsor, as we talked about, against Marina and Jamie Hayter versus Tekla, which is great for Tekla to have another notch in her belt and her reign versus a previous champ. Like we were looking for that. We thought it'd be Tony. We were looking for people that she needs to take down to solidify her as a legit AEW Women's World Champion. And Jamie Hayter is definitely one of those pillar benchmarks to go through, gatekeepers in the women's division as a single star.
Yep.
And I think that's smart. I think it's smart for them to split them up just for the pay-per-view and build to Double or Nothing, build to the next pay-per-view, or even build until, or kind of keep them separated, but kind of plant those seeds to All In. Because I think that would be the time to capitalize on it. As much as we'd want it sooner.
Yep. I think you're absolutely right. I think Brawling Birds need to win the tag titles at All In Wembley, just like Will Ospreay needs to win the singles title. What a great night!
Would be covered in gold that night.
Exactly, they'll be covered in gold. I gotta acknowledge, Scrappy Mina is really becoming one of my favorite versions of her, because she was such a, granted she had that little bit edge to her, but she was always like, I'm Mina. But this Scrappy Mina has been really kind of funny to watch, and she grabs him and says, "You beat her ass," and all this. She's really just. I like that she's kind of pushing this character here. We love Mina. It was great to see. I think it was important to see the Triangle Madness take an L here. I think Tekla is doing fantastic as a heel champion. She's so great. She's really grown on me. Her, like, a lot of times her little commentary, like at the side, at ringside, or stuff she'll say, like, she did, like, she'll mock whoever she's wrestling. The match itself was great. Of course, the standout, the Brawling Birds are really dominating. Mina's great, and Tekla's great. But I'm with you. I think that the plan should be ultimately Brawling Birds are going to win the titles at All In. I think Tekla is going to retain her singles title. But at some point, we've got to either build somebody else up or bring somebody back, or Sheeta. I think Sheeta would be great, but then again, Sheeta also took an L, and
right away, which is shocking, right?
But you can argue ring rust, but I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but I will say this. Just to take this moment to probably premature congratulations. I almost said something else. Boy, that would have been a disaster. But premature congratulations, because it's a rumor, but it does sound like it's one of those rumors that sounds like it's legit. It does sound like Thunder Rosa is going to be not only renewing a contract with AEW, but it's going to be a dual contract with AEW and CMLL, which is kind of like how a lot of the CMLL wrestlers have that dual contract. I think that's brilliant. I think making Thunder Rosa El Primera Chica and the top female wrestler in CMLL could only elevate CMLL. And I think that would, granted, 100%. But still coming back and then defending the women's title on AEW and getting eyeballs on CMLL. I think that's it's brilliant for Thunder. It's brilliant for CMLL. It's brilliant for AEW, because if you're not going to put Thunder back in the main title picture, and you're not going to have her go after the TBS title, you can't create another women's title right now. This is the best move.
I think they're capped out for now.
Plus, she is already such a huge proponent of women's wrestling, of in Mexico as well. A lot of Texas, Mexico, the whole thing. This is giving Thunder such a new chapter and purpose, and I'm all for it. And I think it's going to elevate. CMLLs can continue to become a lot closer to AEW. In a way, it's almost like the Latino ROH at this point, and that's not a negative. I don't mean that as a negative.
Yeah, but even better, because I think you're spot on with this, and I'm completely agree with you. I think there's only good that can come out of that situation.
Yeah.
For everyone involved. And correct me if I'm wrong, did Claudio sign a dual contract too?
I don't know if he signed a dual contract. He has lost the CMLL title,
right,
but I think he's still going. He's still involved. I love that he wears a luchador mask. But yeah, I wouldn't be. I think I don't know for sure, but I think that would make a lot of sense. And that'd be brilliant.
The dual contract thing. I think it's even if it's kind of a work or a shoot, like that, it's a dual contract. It just saying it makes it feel more important, like that the relationship is strengthening.
And CMLL is gonna get so much out of Thunder. Having that brain and that experience down there, and what she has already done for women's wrestling, it's just gonna all the female talent down there, they're gonna blossom around her.
Speaking of a brain, Don Callis has handpicked Andrade to be the one to take out Darby Allin. So this is a whole nother wrench in the MJF saga too, because there's this relationship with Don Callis and MJF, and Andrade is still chirping MJF on social and chirping MJF all over the place. And I know he's mostly focused on the gold versus MJF himself, but like, if Jericho is not inserted with that, then obviously I feel like the next steps are for Andrade to be. Now, would he be next in line to fight MJF or whatever? But, before I get your take on that, did you see Darby smack Lance Archer over the head with that skateboard and the sound it made? Holy cow. I kept looking for Archer in the picture and on the screen. I'm like, did he roll under the ring or where did he go? Because it seemed like Darby got him pretty good.
Yeah, that was I winced at that one. I'm like, I don't know how. I mean, a guy like Lance Archer can take a lot more than most people, but I think, I don't know, he might have knocked the taste of raw horse out of his mouth in that one. I think that was that was quite a hit. But we hope you're okay, Lance. Hope you're staying okay. Right? I like that, again, that there's so many true contenders for the world title. Not just like, hey, I want to get the world title someday. That Andrade's still lurking. He's still another person going after MJF. Darby's chirping as well. Again, not to spoil my picks, but I truly think Andrade needs to go over on Darby. Andrade needs to get the title shot at Double or Nothing.
100%.
Whether it's Kenny or MJF, and either of those matches would be great. And you could do a heel versus heel match, especially because Andrade, as much as he's part of the Callis family, he's almost getting a Takeshita feel from the standpoint of the crowd kind of likes him and hates Don Callis, as well as he's already showing some like, hey, well, Don, what are you doing? Why is this? And of course, there's always spot the selfie whore in the audience whenever he's wrestling, because you're like, there's selfie whore. And I don't mean whore because they're actually every one of them for the most part has been
but that's their gimmick they're playing. Yeah, it's not trying to be degrading at all. I mean, we could say some maybe reword it, but it's all a plant, and it's the point of it. I mean, they're trying to kiss on him and feel him, feel him up, get his sweat, get his number, and all this stuff. Like, I mean, that's the definition of so.
I will say Full Tilt Deb gets very comfortable when Andrade wrestles, and that's all I'm going to say. But I'm here for it. I like another dynamic. Granted, we still have blue cojones for with the whole. We have a blue thunder bomb thanks to this Takeshita. It's like, when's Takeshita finally going to turn? But turn babyface or turn on the Callis family. That's a whole nother
hot take for another day. I mean, we could revisit our show from 6 months ago and be singing the same tune, which is unfortunate. Like, I don't know what's going on that. Well, regardless, the Callis family is strong, stronger than ever right now. And I know they got a couple guys out with Josh Alexander and Doyle, Wardlow, and we'll see what's coming next.
Returns though.
What
if Brian Cage returns?
Yeah, And then throws Darby to the next county like he's done before in matches.
Yeah. I have to agree right here with Ranger Man, though. Like, in this incarnation, he's finally being used the way we like. He's straight up cool. He is. He's just cool. And it's like,
yeah,
go for it, my dude. Go for it. Vaya con Dios.
Everything's working. His in-ring stuff is top-notch. His swagger is top-notch, whether it be coming to the ring and wrestling or right here as you see the Peaky Blinders kind of style stuff. the gimmick with the ladies in the stands is hilarious and great too. It works. It's like Rush's green cord, and then the gimmick with taking off the pants too. Like it's working because not only because he can back it up. I mean, the guy is in great shape and he does awesome stuff in the ring. Like the spinning back fist thing that he does that comes out of nowhere is brutal. I love that move, but
that was great. Yeah, we'll get to it later, but he does that. It just takes him out. Boom. He did that on the with the Rascals. Yeah, and it just brutal. Yeah.
Main event of Dynamite last night, or excuse me, I'm used to saying last night, but 2 nights ago. Your thoughts on it? USA versus Canada.
Well, we'll go back to MJF's promo where he's just ripping Canada. And he talks about he's going to come out in the same gear that he had CMLL. I knew the flag was coming down with his face as the stars. I mean, that's what you got to do in Canada. You got to go, I'm Mr. USA. And they just boo. You just knew it. And he came out in the red, white, and blue. It was fantastic. Then Speedball comes out as Mr. Canada and in the Canadian outfit. And it was just like, it's exactly, I mean, it's ripping a page, an homage to Rocky IV, but it's the roles are reversed, where MJF is the bad guy and Speedball's the hero. It was great.
Right.
Of course, Speedball's fantastic in this, and he got a lot and he got a lot of great moves. MJF allowed Speedball to truly shine. There was a lot of I do like these eliminator matches because there's a chance because if they win, there's a chance that they win. Like if this was for the title, we know Speedball's not going to win, but there's a chance Speedball might get a win and get an eliminator shot, which means that he'll then get a title shot, which we know he won't win. And we only say that now because it's too soon. There will be a time where Speedball would be deserving. I think he could deserve it anyways, but there'll be a time where Speedball could legit win the AEW World title. But I thought the match was phenomenal. What a great Valentine to the Canadian fans to have Speedball versus MJF. I thought it was phenomenal. He also held his own great on the mic. This is one of the few people in AEW that I don't think can go heel. Like, I don't think it would ever work as a heel. And I could eat my words, but Willow, Riho, Speedball, Mike Bailey, and a few others. Those are the few that I don't think ever can go. They're just too likable to ever go heel. And he was a great, it was the good guy versus the quote unquote devil. And it's because MJF allowed him. This might sound like something MJF would say, but I think this is actually it's because MJF allowed Speedball to look so good and he reacted to Speedball so well and meshed with him with such a great dance partner, and this was such a great main event. That's why I chose MJF as my top performer, because MJF is doing a lot of things that on the surface he's the bad guy and you boo him and this, but he's holding his own and he's really allowing the people that he wrestles. Every opponent he has on the microphone, he secretly builds them up while he's tearing them down. If you listen to the way he talks, he builds them up and still tears them down. He also gives them a platform to look fantastic in the ring, and that's exactly what he did with Speedball. So, yeah, MJF, the character is a scumbag, boo, hiss, tomato, tomato. But MJF, the behind the scenes locker room dude, I bet he's one of the leaders, and this is phenomenal.
That's why it's gonna be hard to him to lose the title. Granted, he has historically been fine without a title, but I feel like it's he's doing such a good job at making the title feel more important, for making the main event picture feel so much more important. And so selfishly, Kenny, I love. He's one of my favorites in AEW from day early on. I want him to have a run. I want him to have another run selfishly, but at the same time, I would love to. I think MJF is doing fantastic work with the stuff he's doing. And it's really going to be a tough choice to make. I feel like I hope it's going to be a tough choice, because it's like you put yourself in the situation, but it is a win-win. And I feel confident with either result going forward. Like there's been times where it's like they better win, or it's so stupid, whatever. But I feel confident, like if MJF wins, great stuff's gonna happen. If Kenny wins, obviously great stuff's gonna happen. So
let me ask you a question.
In a good situation.
Let me ask you a question. Would you be more interested? I mean, given where we are right now and things we've said about both of them, would you be more interested? Just forget about what the fans, what anybody else wants, just you yourself. And I'll ask this with the chat too. Would you be more interested in watching Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega for the title at All In, or Will Ospreay versus MJF for the title All In? What would be a more epic victory? Think about how awesome it was when Hangman finally defeated Moxley and got the title. What if MJF runs through everybody between now and All In, and then Will Ospreay, Billy Goat himself, wins the title from MJF in Wembley?
I think that's so tough, because I want to see. I feel like MJF deserves to main event All In what he's been doing in the last few months. In my opinion, he does. Yep. You know, whether whoever, if anyone thinks otherwise, that's fine. I think what he's done the last almost 4 months as the world champ, he deserves to be that main event. And that will be such a bigger reward for him to lose it as a babyface and as fans. Now, in terms of pure wrestling, Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay would be absolutely incredible to run that back. Yeah. Now, that doesn't mean I'm as we're talking this through, that I'm like, that doesn't mean Kenny can't challenge Will Ospreay down the line. Yeah. He can't. What if he challenges him at Revolution? What if he challenges him at, Full Gear or whatever it may be? So it's like Kenny's chance. I know he's kind of saying one last ride in a kind of a sense, but like if he's healthy like he is right now, like why, hopefully he stays healthy for 6 to 8, 10, 9 months from now, whatever. Mm-hmm. So what would you rather have? If you had to pick one of the two main events right now, Ospreay versus Kenny or Max versus Kenny, or
up until us talking about it, I just was assuming that the draw is going to be Kenny versus Ospreay, but just in talking and just thinking about it, I personally would rather see. I kind of agree with Ranger here. The longer Max MJF holds the title, the bigger the victory is going to feel, and that's that same feeling we had with Moxley when Hanger finally won. And just match wise, I'd rather see MJF and Ospreay.
Easy dub.
I think that would be phenomenal. I think it could be a candidate for match of the year because of the way MJF adapts to whoever he's wrestling, and just let Will Ospreay just shine. But the thing is that MJF's just squeaky a weasel enough to get away out of this and out of that. And you could even have it where like Ospreay considers the Tiger Driver, Bryan Danielson Ender thing he's going to do, whatever. But like there's so much you can do. Somebody mentioned in the show, Ranger Man again, Kenny versus Fletcher and all with Feed Generation. Imagine Kenny and Kyle Fletcher. Hopefully Kyle Fletcher's not injured for too long. Kenny versus Kyle Fletcher would be phenomenal as well. But yeah, I actually think if I was going to put not my money of what they're going to do, but what I would prefer, I think I'd prefer MJF versus Ospreay.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because we could be. Ospreay might not even be the guy to go against MJF. What if it's someone else? Like who? If it's not Ospreay, who then who?
Switchblade. I can't. I want Switchblade back so bad.
I want him back too.
I want the Bang Bang Gang to be reunited, and I want it to be like, I wish that like Juice was feuding with a group, and he felt like he was on his own, and then Austin Gunn comes back, Colton comes back, and then Switchblade comes back. Like
there we go.
They're reunited. I don't know. Anyways,
we got 4.5 months till All In, and so I think, I'm hoping after Dynasty we'll kind of see a clear picture. But MJF beats Kenny, then boom. What if he gets in a feud with Jericho, beats Jericho? What if he gets in a feud with Andrade, beats Andrade? Then it's like those challengers leads you to the final one in Ospreay, the final boss. Last night's show. Here, let me actually try to do this better. Collision. I know we're not going to talk too much about Collision here, but let me see.
Darby too, right?
Well, Darby, that like promo he did, and he came in on there. Where is this share screen? But I didn't get a chance to finish Collision, so I was busy working and stuff, and
worth watching.
Finished watching it. I caught the tail end. So, what were some of the standout moments of Collision for you? Obviously, it's so great to see. We got the vignette and the promo. The Hurt Syndicate coming back. Love a good return. I love the vengeance that the Cope and Cage are on. Sheeta return. So, what's your thoughts on Collision?
The top 3 moments that if you only could watch 3 moments on this thing, the top 3 moments are. Yeah, and we didn't talk about this from Dynamite too. Cope and Cage.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Christian almost put in a chair to Renee Paquette, which if he had done that, Moxley would pay him a visit. But Cope and Cage, going after our FTR was cool. But match wise, Juice versus Ciampa was great, and Juice was full tilt Juice. And the crowd was behind him, and it was fantastic. Great to see Sheeta return. I didn't like that the commentary team kept talking about ring rust, and because they were kind of almost like making an excuse of why Sheeta's not going to win the title. And there was a moment where Sheeta kind of was angry and was going to hit Willow with the kendo stick, and then she changed her mind. Maybe that's the power of Willow. You can't hate her, but the top matches were was Ciampa versus Juice. Willow, it's great to see. Just great to see Sheeta back in AEW, and I hope they do a lot. But I think the match of the night wasn't even the main event. The match of the night was the Callis family versus the Rascals, and it took a while to get started because Davis is not a high flyer. And they again, we've been praising how Davis has really evolved to this point. He's this brutal bear that and it was hard for the Rascals to get. In fact, they took him through commercial to really get the Rascals to start some high flying stuff. But once it was more Andrade on the side of the challenging, the Rascals really got a chance to shine. Andrade hit Desmond. I think it was Desmond. He hit him with that back elbow. That like the Judas effect times 10, whatever, knocked him clean out. It was great. Not great that he got knocked out, but it was such a great pop moment, and they got the victory. But the match was great. I want Anthony Bowens to find himself. It's not working.
Just let's reacclaim the acclaimed, man.
But even now, I don't think that's going to work. At this point, I don't know if something happened backstage between him and Max Caster, or if it was Tony Khan's decision to break them up and they didn't want to. I don't know what the issue is, but somehow what I thought I wanted, and I do still want to see Anthony Bowens as this superstar singles guy, but it just it didn't click, and I can't put my finger on how, other than the fact that Max Caster got over more than he did. But this thing with Hook, and I'm going to prove myself to you, Hook. I'm going to fight John Moxley. It didn't work, and it's not working. And he got his ass beat, and it just, I don't know. He needs a gimmick. I personally, They messed up. I think he needs to be the fourth member of the Hurt Syndicate. I think Bowens needs to join the Hurt Syndicate. I think that would work better than whatever this is going. I mean, imagine him dressing a suit and whatever. But yeah,
well,
I'd have to
on
say,
our Twitter that from the post that you said and you photoshopped with Wardlow in the Hurt Syndicate was almost a year ago. I said, "Is it time, Wardlow? Is it time for you to do it? Actually, pull the trigger and we'll do that." How sweet would that be?
Oh yeah, and they are well. Hurt Syndicate did announce that they're back and they're looking for a fourth member. And Wardlow has finished filming American Gladiators, right?
Yeah, that's been long. That's been long finished. Yeah,
yeah. So I'd love to see it. All right, Dynasty, dude.
6 matches already. Pretty solid card so far.
I am looking forward. This is one where I'm looking forward to the main event the most out of all these.
Yeah, before this was announced, I was like, okay, FTR, maybe a TLC or whatever. This could be the main event if it is. I almost feel like we might get a hardcore no DQ match or something because the way that they keep teasing and chasing everyone around with chairs, or that's just kind of a look into the telescope for Double or Nothing, the TLC match or the all-in TLC match.
Double or Nothing's got to be the TLC, and it's got to be FTR, Cope and Cage, and the Young Bucks.
Yeah,
I think that would be phenomenal.
There's no other 3 teams that would make sense.
Oh, that would be such a storybook moment for AEW.
Right.
Yep.
Loving the card so far. We'll also probably throw in the women's tag team match.
Yep.
We'll hopefully throw in the trios match. Who knows what's going to happen with the other belts as well? But
if
Fletcher's hurt or not?
Where's Ty J? Where is Ty J?
There's a long list of where is people.
Yeah.
And we know.
Yeah.
Top performers, you said it. MJF was yours. Will Ospreay was mine. Fantastic showing by both these guys. And I think just all around with MJF. I was looking on the AEW website of just where their events are and then like start time of Dynasty because it's in Vancouver. So it's going to be a late pay-per-view for us here on the East Coast. But every single graphic of what's going to be like, oh, we're coming to Portland, we're coming to Fairfax, whatever. Every single graphic has one common person, MJF.
Yep.
MJF is the only common one that's on all of them. That's great. That's really great. So I think the MJF era is here to stay till All In, and it could be
probably right.
Yeah. Fortunately and unfortunately, here we are. Brent is the king of the tag teams right now. And so he's been getting a 2, 3, 4 point nights, very consistency because of where he is. But we are on the home stretch. As of today, we have 9 days left of this season. 9 days left. So we got Collision, we got a Dynamite, Collision, and the pay-per-view. So that's the home stretch. Once Dynasty's over, we'll take a week off, and then we'll start up the next draft again.
Yep.
And maybe what we'll do, just kind of spitballing, the next draft can be all the way to All In.
Let's do it. I like it.
Because that'll be like a 4-monther, and that'll be perfect. I think we'll do mid-April through All In.
Do we want to keep the same number of talent, or do we want to?
I liked it. I think I liked it. There was not a lot of NA points.
Yeah.
The only ones that were really NA afterwards is Mystico right now.
Yeah.
And so even before that, there was a couple, but it wasn't enough where it's like, oh, let's draft 10 and we're just really kind of scraping the barrel. That way it puts people on the free agency list for the +2 of like, oh yeah, I need to pick up Tommaso Ciampa. I need to pick up the Rascals. I need to pick up whomever, Penelope Ford. And so they're on that one. Can we draft a referee? I don't know. How would you get points?
I don't know. I mean, if they get knocked out, do you lose points? I don't know.
If they ref a match, they get a point. Bryce and there's a lot of people that are do a lot of matches. But sweet, man. Great stuff. We'll be back at our regularly scheduled programming next Thursday for DD241. All purple. Wear your purple. It's going to be a purple night for celebration of Jericho's return on there. And just to make sure Dynamite is not going to be. Dynamite's going to, or not, excuse me, Collision's going to be on Saturday, I believe, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Officially. Because I know they're filming at the same time, but I don't think they've changed anything. It was all because of the NCAA tournament. So we'll see you next Thursday. Thank you all for joining the chat on X, YouTube, and Instagram. And we appreciate the feedback. Love you guys. Have a great, happy Easter weekend, everyone. Exactly, Courtney. Happy Easter. Have a great weekend. And we'll see you next week for episode 241.
Later.
On the inside, you are innocence personified, and I will drag you down and sell you out. Run